This is for my American audience, you who are Americans or living in the United States. I'm here to tell you the truth about your situation at this time. You are about to experience a poverty in the United States that is unprecedented. Nobody alive today in the United States will have experienced the poverty that you are about to experience right now in the next 6 to 30 months. Some of you are already experiencing this poverty that is unprecedented in scope. And I would venture to argue that, 30, 40 years from now, when historians look back on this period, they will talk about the 2020s as the Second Great Depression. For a lot of people, the Depression started in mid-March of 2020. That's when the lockdowns first started. But certainly now, with the gasoline prices skyrocketing, you're going to see a lot more poverty in the United States. And like I said, most of you in the United States probably already know that this is baked in the cake. They already see it. You see it in the collapsing infrastructure. You see it in all the closed shops up and down those bright city streets. Fifth Avenue in New York and Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills and all the rest of it. And they're all closed up where the expensive shops used to be. And the infrastructure, the airports, they're falling apart. The bus stations, let's not even talk about them. But, the potholes and the whole thing just seems like it's like falling apart. And you sense it, you know it. And you see the gasoline prices and they hit you in your wallet when you fill up your gas tank. And for those of you who aren't Americans, well, the United States has organized its entire existence around the automobile. Most people living in suburbs cannot get food without a car because the supermarket is 3, 4, 5 miles away sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. It's not a walkable distance. I lived in some upscale neighborhoods in the United States, and to get to the nearest supermarket was at least a mile away, one way. So you need a car. And of course, gasoline is going through the roof. And so it's hitting your pocketbook. And it's also, of course, going to hit the truckers. And so if it hits the truckers, it's going to hit the prices of the goods and services that you buy. And they're going to start to go up, or they're already going up. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it in the past year. And, the Biden administration is lying to you and saying that, oh, it's no big deal, And now they're saying, oh, it's Putin's fault. Putin because of this invasion of Ukraine, right? But no, it's not Putin's fault. It's not even Biden's fault. It's not even Trump's fault. And not even Obama's fault, or even George W. Bush's fault. This has been baked into the cake for going on 25, 30 years. This really started with the Clinton administration, when they started hollowing out the manufacturing base of the United States, exporting its manufacturing facilities to countries in Asia and Central America and South America and other places around the globe. Globalization. They emptied out the manufacturing base of the United States, and that was sin number one. And sin number two was right after 9/11, the so-called global war on terror. What happened basically was that the United States government took out the national credit card and started zipping it through the machine over and over and over again to pay for the wars, to pay for a lifestyle that the American people could not really afford. But with a national credit card, i.e. national debt, well, they could afford it because, as Dick Cheney famously said, deficits don't matter, which is true. Deficits don't matter in the moment that you take on the deficit, but eventually you do have to pay it. You see? I mean, we all know that feeling of having that credit card with the, $1,000 limit, $5,000 limit, $10,000 limit, or $100,000 limit sometimes. And we go there and we zip it through and we buy that really expensive thing. And we know that later we're going to have to pay for it, plus the interest. We're going to have to pay for it. But right now we got it. And so we're not thinking about tomorrow. We don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow is tomorrow, and today is today. And today we have this cool thing and we play with it. We use it. We show it off to our friends. It's great.
All right, Shalom, first and foremost. Giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom Barakatham, and this guy Gonzalo Lira, I believe he's also called Red Pill Coach. He's been going in lately, man. You heard him. All right, this place is through, man. You Americans about to get ready to suffer poverty on a grand scale, man, on a level which you've never seen before, man. All right, and Lord will, I'll use this thumbnail because this guy is on point, man. All right, that's been the sentiment of America, man, and they've had these false balances. They've had all of this time to build up this wealth, but what did they do with it? They squandered it. All right, like he said, they hollowed out the manufacturing base in the 90s. Bill Clinton signed bills to do that. At the same time, they were locking you Negroes up, the working class, you know, with the crime bill in the 90s. They also passed Glass-Steagall, which allowed these financial institutions, these banks, these hedge funds to basically be one entity, so banks could basically gamble your deposits on Wall Street. That's how the dot-com bubble got started, you know, and they repealed Glass-Steagall and then brought it back, and that's how the great financial crisis in '08 happened, man. So all of these policies got passed, man, in the 90s, right after the Soviet Union fell. All right, and what's happened over time? America's just been talking shit, you know, expanding their military rapidly, but they've been putting it on credit cards. All right, and now all of the nations see through this. They understand what's happening. All right, and they're not afraid of you anymore. They realize you just a drunk bimbo in debt. All right, that whore of Babylon. All right, they know this now, and that's why you see Russia standing up boldly. They're invading Ukraine without any worry at all about the repercussions. You put sanctions on them, they just shrug it off. They don't care. All right, because they know you don't know what you're doing. You destroying your own economy with these sanctions. All right. Look at the gas prices. You destroy Europe's economy. 30%. Europe relies 30% of their energy. Europe is relying on Russia for it, man. If Europe can't go without 30% of their energy, there'll be riots and pandemonium and all types of violent events going on, man, out there. And those Europeans, man, they're in the spirit. You go to France, what happened? They were out there in the streets. Those yellow vest protests. In Greece, what happened when their money system collapsed? They were in the streets. All right. Germany, when they had the lockdowns in Germany, those Edomites, man, they hit the streets, man. All right. So they're not in the same pussy pacified spirit as America, who just that's how you know there's a heavy spell over this place, man. Because y'all should have been rioting a long time ago for a lot of things that's been going on, but you haven't been. All right, and now this guy is bringing it out because this place is absolutely through. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachakwadash, man. Because we see this as a great thing. You people are too goddamn proud, and you need to be humbled. He said, get ready to be poor. And that's true, man. This is Proverbs 11:1. It says, a false balance is abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. And what was that false balance? All right. The deficits. There's deficits aren't real. Because they can print money. But who is he settling up with that debt? American people. All right. He wants Jake to pay for it in the working class, because you rich people, y'all can move the money over to the Cayman Islands, to different particular offshore accounts, avoid taxes, and y'all have the means to do all of that. But the average working class, which a lot of these are Edomites now, because let's be honest, y'all have destroyed the middle class. All right. So you're either rich, or you're upper middle class, or you're poor, or lower working class. You know, there's really no strong middle class anymore. So a lot of Edomites are down there too, but you know, it's been mainly Jake that's been down here. Now, what's going to happen after a period of time, man, with this false balance. You know, eventually things are going to catch up to you. Eventually the number is going to be so big, the other nations are going to start looking at you like, wait a minute, they have no intention of paying this off. And the US dollar, its value is 100% based on the faith that other people have in it. And that faith is usually backed by, on paper, it's backed by gold, but in the spirit, it's really backed by the military. And when they see that this dollar has, that the U.S. has no intention of paying it off, they're going to be looking like, wait a minute, well, we might as well go to war with you then. Because they know it's the military that backs you up, and now you see why Russia is trying America, man. Look at this. Personal debt, 100 million, 100 billion, $22 trillion in personal debt, man. Ridiculous. Student loan debt. Look at that, 1.7 trillion. Credit card debt is $1 trillion, man. And you can see the student loan debt is going up faster than credit card debt. Look, total U.S. debt, $89 trillion, man. That's crazy. Now, I remember when I was in high school, the debt was $4 trillion. That was 20 years ago. This is 20 times that now. That's ridiculous, man. And when you go to the unfunded liabilities, which I forget where it is on here. Oh, yeah, look. So the unfunded liabilities are the things that they've also put on a credit card they issue treasury bonds for. That's not on the U.S. debt, but they still owe the money. These are things like Medicaid, Medicare, some of those dark projects in the Pentagon, 168 trillion, plus the 89. Like this place, the other nations are looking at this and like these fucking Edomites, they're never gonna pay this shit off, man. Ever. They'll have you look at the national debt at 30 trillion, but really, you know, the people that have to pay off this 30 trillion, they also have this personal debt in 22 trillion. You know, so this isn't going to ever be paid off. So what's going to happen? All right. Go to James 5:1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you." Now we know gold and silver are precious metals, and they don't rust or decay or canker or decay in any way, right? So this gold and silver is talking about their money system. It says, "And shall eat your flesh as it were fire," and that flesh represents their physical assets, man. Because like as he said it, your manufacturing base has been hollowed out. It's all over there in China now, man. The Philippines and all they make all the clothes down there in Southern Asia. You know, the Philippines, Indonesia, those sweatshops down there, all of the manufacturing goods, electronics and everything is all made in China. That part of the world. All right. So you don't have any physical assets. You just have this database of money that's just going up in perpetuity. You know, I need to download this on my on the app on my phone. Not that it really matters that much, but you know, for edification's sake, he could come in handy. It says, "So you have heaped treasure together for the last days, showing you this is what would happen in the last days." So all you guys that are laxed, all right, it says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth." All right, because we're the ones working, and what do we get, man? We get a paycheck, not even every day, every 2 weeks, which you're scraping interest off of in that 2 week time span, and you're taxing it directly. We gotta hope that we can have enough until the next paycheck. This isn't freedom, man. You have a higher quality of life, but you're not free. It says, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. All right. And this number represents, because look, they already bought everything with this money. They spent it. So their hearts are nourished, man. 168 trillion plus another 90 trillion. They're damn near 300 trillion in money that they've just spent, man. So their hearts are they're busting full, man. All right, and that's how the Most High wants the sacrifice, busting full, fat. All right, because you're getting ready to be on the altar to be sacrificed. All right, it says, "Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you, man." All right. So you have hell to pay, and all you so-called American people, you're with it. Okay, and I believe he says that in the video. I'll get to it.
But anyway, still take advantage of this and shit on the United States pretty badly. A lot of people in the rest of the world, well, it will lash out. It will lash out and potentially do untold damage to the rest of the world, let alone itself. You who are Americans, you have to realize that your leaders, the Biden administration, but not just the Biden administration, people on the Republican side too, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, all these people, all these politicians who don't give a shit about you, they're going to try to channel your fear and anger and the fact that you are realizing how poor you really are and how bankrupt the United States really is. They're going to try to channel that fear and anxiety and rage, try to channel it towards military adventures that will cost the lives of thousands, tens of thousands of innocent people, not to mention the soldiers and all the rest of it. Also, some people in the U.S. government can make some money. Also, that some people in the U.S. government, he did it, he's the one, you should hate him, go ahead and hate on him. Bill Clinton, by hollowing out the manufacturing base of the United States because it made Wall Street more money.
Yep.
George W. Bush and his stupid war on terror that basically unleashed the American credit card to go into these pointless wars that were so incredibly expensive, but the people didn't realize it because it was just on the national credit card. And so people didn't realize the true cost of what was going on. Now you are realizing the true costs of these policies. And now you have to make sure that your incompetent, corrupt leaders, like the Biden administration and like the Republican Party, do not fool you into thinking that it's the fault of somebody else. It's not the fault of anyone else. It's the fault of American leadership. And here comes the bitterest pill of them all. If the United States is a true democracy, then who is responsible for the leadership that the United States has?
That's right.
Because these leaders that we have, they weren't put there, they're not kings, ruling by divine right. No. It's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. You allowed yourself to be fooled, and now you are going to pay the price.
That's right.
The rest of the world is asking you, please don't lash out at us, the rest of the world, because we had nothing to do with this shit show that you are experiencing. You are responsible because you allowed this to happen. And that's a bitter pill, but you're going to have to swallow it.
Hey, that's the brother was on point, man. He was going in. That's 100%. You American people are responsible. So there's not going to be any crying, any travailing and trying to play the victim. You are the ones responsible. All right. Isaiah 47. It says, therefore now hear this, thou that art getting with the pleasure that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and no one else beside me. Y'all in this Cardi B, Meg the Stallion spirit. I don't cook, I don't clean, and just spouting it up on Instagram. And you women and you men out there simping, y'all spending money. Floyd Mayweather, like you just got it. You're gonna be here forever, man. Y'all are in that wicked ass spirit of mirth, man. When all hell's getting ready to break loose. So what's gonna happen? It says, neither shall I know the loss of children. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come up on thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. And this is a bunch of fucking sorcery here, man. Everything from television to makeup, man. Everything here is designed to deceive you, man. The containers that your food come in. The smell of the air, none of this shit is what it seems, man. All right, it says, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, because y'all wisdom and knowledge, it comes purely off of the internet, following these, what YouTube will call authoritative sources. Now, why do they call it that? Because they want you to listen to their wisdom, because the internet is a wildfire. They can't control all the information that passes through it. So what do? They set up these monopolies like Google, Facebook, all right, to try to gatekeep what's going on. But this is y'all knowledge, and it's perverted you, man. It says, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And we know all these media companies, there's only 5 or 6 of them. They're all run by government, man. All right, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, you know, ABC, all of these alphabet media companies. It's all vain knowledge, man. All right, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not, Salakia, know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All right, that's coming. So he's saying it's your fault. This is the main point. Verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. All right, this is Babylon, man. So what's coming, you need to keep that same energy, man. And the men of the Lord are going to be good. All right, we're going to be saved out of it. It says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. All right, so the Lord is coming against this place, man. The Lord is. The scriptures speak about when he filled his belly, that's when he's going to bring his ass down, man. Now, Revelation 18:4, I brought this out earlier this morning. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. This is talking to the elect, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquity. So now, before the Most High remembered her iniquity, y'all thought everything was all good in the hood. Y'all can just continue bombing people. Y'all voted for these same politicians. All right, and now these other nations are angry. They pissed the hell off. Now people know that your money system is bullshit. They know it's backed by nothing but your military, and now Russia is trying your military. so what's left? They're about to try you now. All right, so get ready. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And I just did an article, a lesson about how 18,000 kids went missing just in 2019, man. They were in CPS. They didn't just go missing. They were in Child Protective Services, and they just went missing, man. And there's all types of evil and things we can't even, only the angels can record it, man. It's just too much is going on in this place. That's why King David called this the valley of the shadow of death, man. All right. Because it's death on all sides. It says, in the cup which she had filled to her double. This cup you filled, that belly that's full, all right? The $300 trillion, And the wickedness is not the money on the page. It's what you bought with it and what you did with it. It says filled to her double, and we know America did mad evil, man, with their power. All right. It says how much has she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, man. So this is what's coming. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Sound familiar from Isaiah 47, man. All right. It says, therefore shall her place come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who judges her, man. And this is what we've been trying to tell you, Jakes, man. Last precept. Job 20 and 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. All right, meaning when he got to his first his peak, which this place has really kind of been going down since the end, but he's been filling himself up, man. He's just been grabbing up money. Look at this, thinking nobody's gonna touch him. But he says in the end he would be in straits, man. You know, you got lockdowns. The sanctions are backfiring on you. Other nations are trying you militarily. All right. The plagues are getting ready to start hitting this place full force, like it was back in the days of Egypt. Into quick succession, boom, 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 rapidly. It says every hand of the wicked shall come up on him. All right. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and it shall rain it upon him while he is eating. This is you, Esau. This is America. As Childish Gambino said, this is America, man. All right. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him while he is eating, man. And this goes hand in hand with Yahweh Shah says they would be marrying and giving in marriage. They're gonna be in that happy-go-lucky mirth spirit like you niggas are in right now, and all hell's gonna break loose. Scriptures say, suddenly shall when they say shall peace and safety, shall sudden destruction come upon them, man. It says he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. He's gonna try to go on the rocks into space, to under the sea, and flee the country, but the Most High is gonna get you, man. All right. He's gonna get you. Period. You can't run. All right. So I made this a little bit longer than I thought, but hopefully you brothers were edified. America is through, man. You know, call hello Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachak Wadash Wa Abba Babal Shalom.